In today's training, we're going to be reviewing Voyant's Monte Carlo insight. This is a great insight for stress testing your client's plans. It helps you understand how the plan would perform under both unfavorable and favorable market conditions. When you run the Monte Carlo insight, you will need to have at least one asset in the plan that is growing via asset allocation. You can double check this by clicking on the accounts affected hyperlink, and this will show you which of your accounts are being grown via asset allocation and which ones will be tested in this simulation. The reason it needs the asset allocation is that it uses the underlying market assumptions that are mapped to those asset allocations in order to provide the bounds for the various iterations that it's going to run in each year. You can select anywhere from 50 to 1,000 iterations for the simulation. What this means is that 50 randomized iterations will be applied to each year of the plan, and those will be based on the asset allocations outlined in your portfolios. We're going to go ahead and click Get Started to take a look at the results for the simulation, and we'll walk through the outcomes. All right, let's take a look first at the chart up here at the top and analyze what we're seeing here. The purple that is in the background of the chart is going to represent the range of returns, and you can see this against the asset values over here on the left hand side. Looking at the purple dotted line on the chart, this is going to represent the average or mean return in that year. And then from there, you're going to be able to see your minimum or worst case outcome, or your maximum, which is going to be the best case outcome for that asset and portfolio mix in that year. And you can see moving through the various years what that looks like. If you find a year where the minimum value has dropped out, that is going to signal that there is an iteration in this year where there are no assets left in the plan based on worst case outcomes. Now let's take a look at yearly probability of success, and you can kind of see that mirrored here. So in the early years of the plan, we're seeing 100% probability of success, and that means in every iteration they're able to meet their expenses and goals. There is no outcome where they do not have enough assets in order to cover their outlined expenses and goals. But when we get into the later years, we are starting to drop down from the 100% probability of success, and that means there are iterations where they would not be able to meet their goals in those years. And we go all the way down to the final year in the plan, and then that is going to be the number that you see provided here. The 48% probability of success means that there is a 48% probability of success that there will be no years where there is a iteration that projects shortfall. You can save these results, and when you save those results, you'll be able to come back to this without having to rerun the simulation. And you can also then run a Monte Carlo report, which will allow you to present a deliverable for this simulation as well. I hope that this has been helpful. If you do have any questions or you'd like to run through this one-on-one with one of our support team members, you can always email us at support@planwithvoyant.com, or you can request support via the drop down here and enter your question into the text box and ensure client access. Thanks for listening.